Good morning and welcome to Zen Fits. It's a beautiful day here in Blackstone, Virginia, the center of the world. But then you too are at the center of the world. You know, I say, excuse me, get a little. The title of this Zen Fit is I'm the Om Doctor. Yesterday evening at 4 o'clock, two medical students from MCV came as part of their geriatrics studies to talk to a geriatrics, me. I'm on their list. And we had a delightful hour and a half, well actually about 2 hours conversation that was just this wonderful, well it was all me, they asked some questions. But they came to study me. So there's nothing that makes an 83-year-old happier than having young, intelligent people come and listen to them. So I gave them their my Om Doctor tongue depressor. My wife burns on a little. I don't have any more, I gave them away, but we put Om Doctor with a little tongue on this tongue depressor. She burns it on there, so they're both Om. So I posted a picture of them on my Facebook. But anyway, so they got their official Om Doctors now, and so far I've initiated 2, 4, 6 Om Doctors. So every year two doctors come, first year students. And I make them Om Doctors, and they leave with martini glasses, which I say one of them is probably the Holy Grail. I'm sure you got it, and an Om tongue depressor, which removes depression. The Om Doctor, the Om tongue depressor, removes depression. So anyway, the conversation was enlightening, I hope, for them, because we explored, you know, well, that's the way I am with you. I mean, I don't have a program or talking points or any idea of what we're going to talk about, except the title. I write the title down. That's a start. I'm the Om Doctor. So that's the seed. So out of that seed, this talk is going to grow. You know, look like a rose or a weed. You know, but anyway, the seed creates the talk, you know. And all you need for a seed to grow, is 2 people, a relationship. So when I'm by myself, I don't talk. I don't talk to anybody when I'm by myself. But here I'm with you, you see. So the seed can grow. Or if somebody comes to visit, and is interested in growing a seed. We grow a seed. But you know, most people aren't interested in growing a seed. They want to talk about what they know, which is fine. They want to talk about what you did in the external world. So most of our conversations are about the experiences in the external world. Oh, I went to Walmart, I did this. Oh, I went to California and had these experiences. So we share experiences, you see. But that's not what an Om Doctor is. You know, in other words, that's not what Om is. So, what is Om? Om. It's O-M. It's a Sanskrit word that is equivalent to Amen, you could say. But in the Eastern tradition, Om is the original sound. It's the sound before sounds. It's potential sound. It's the sound of one hand clapping in Zen. See, Om, if you say Om, that's as far as you can go in the vowel. And then you can go up. And that covers the whole range of sound. And then it drops off into silence. So you have this big bang. The Om is like the big bang of sound. And in the Eastern view, and as a matter of fact, in the ancient Hebrew view, the world is sound. The Word of God, that's sound. That's not a written word. It's Om, it's the sound. It's that reality is a verb. Reality is action. Reality is spoken. We're speaking reality, you see. That's what, I love the prayer. Speak but the word, and my soul will be healed, you see. Speak but your word. The movie, The King's Speech, a lot of movies. The King's Speech was most definitely a metaphor for speaking, discovering your words. He stuttered, and he couldn't, he was a king. Kings can't stutter, particularly when they have, during the war. So he had to discover his word that wasn't you see. Fearful. Stutter is a punctuation of fear, you see. So your word is fearless. So Om, the Om is fearlessness. There's nothing left out. Om. So it's a centering sound. Om is a centering sound. It centers you in the original, in your original word. It centers you in your original seed. It centers you in the present moment, you see. Because everything is coming out of this present moment. This talk with you, these words with you, you're listening, I'm speaking, is coming out of the present moment, you see. So out of the present moment, the two of us come, you and me, you see. So this duality of me and you and me, say you are looking at me and I'm looking at you, well, I know you're there, you see. So you're listening to me and I'm looking at, you know, and so we're this relationship here, but it's coming out of the present moment. You see, the present moment, you're in it there and I'm in it here. It's one moment. It's not two. It's not your moment and my moment. Now is in holding us both, you see. And out of that, the two. So the one that creates the two, the one, the Om is the metaphor for the one out of which all sound comes. And you and I are two sounds, you see. So it's all a metaphorical understanding or way of changing the way we view reality, changing the way we are being in the world. Instead of being just a bunch of cacophony, just a bunch of crickets chirping around, we're all coming out of the one sound, Om. You see, we're all coming out of the one, the source. But the source is not in the past or in the future or out there or in there. The source is nowhere. We are the source. You see, we are the source coming out of ourselves. But when we perceive it as being two and the many. Because you can't perceive anything unless there's the perceiver and the perceived. You see, consciousness creates reality, the reality we live in, which we perceive as being many. Otherwise, you couldn't run from a tiger, you couldn't catch a bus, you couldn't do anything. So we create this world of many so we can do stuff and eat and live and die and get sick and all the stuff that we do, you see. But out of that, we come out of the one that has no second. So Om, you see, has no second. There is no second possible sound outside of Om, the verbal sound, the spoken. So Om is the spoken word that has no second sound, you see. So it's kind of like a way of, metaphorically, of getting in touch with our heart. And this is where the sound of Om comes from. Om, Om. You can almost feel it. You can almost feel it. Om, Om, you see. And even the sound of the bell, you see, even the sound that starts meditation and all, this is Om. You see, even that is Om. And you can follow it. And you can hear it, not hear it, when you hear it, when you hear the sound, it's like there's a carrier, oh, and then the way it breaks into wah, 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 wah. Well, the wah, 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 wah is the duality of you and me. And it's the duality of my own thinking, on, off, up, down, good, bad, in, out. You see, wah, 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 wah. But that barrier, that alternating current of thinking, of consciousness, is carried by this carrier wave. See. So even this, the ringing of the bell for ending meditation, these are all orientating sounds. Orientation to the source instead of the external sources that we orientate with. For instance, if you are on a ship at sea, I've been writing about my life my short life. I was on a submarine for 3.5 years, a diesel electric boat. And I look back on it now metaphorically, and it teaches me and informs me. And one thing I remember is that when you are on a ship at sea by yourself, and you look around 360 degrees, and it's like you're on a plate, or on a record, the hole in the middle of the record, but at the center of a plate, and the horizon is the circumference. But as you move, you don't really know feel like you're moving because there's nothing else there except you. The whole plate kind of like moves, and you really can't. The only way you can see if you're moving is if there's a lighthouse or an island or something fixed. And then you can tell, oh, we're moving. You know, the island, the lighthouse, something is fixed. And you're moving, you can see you're moving. If you see another ship, you really can't tell who's going which way. Is he moving away or am I moving away? You can't tell. But the feeling of the being at the center of the world changes our viewpoint. So that center is Om. When you're at sea and there's nothing around you but this vast plate of ocean bounded by the horizon, you are Om. You are the center of the world. So when I say at the beginning of this talk, you are the center of the world, I'm the center of the world, but you too are the center of the world, it's describing what it's like when you are at sea and you can't see anything around you except this rim. And you can't tell if you're, well, you can tell you're moving because you can see the wake. But if there were no wake, you wouldn't know if you were moving or not because there's no object there. You see. And that's Om. And that's our primary orient. But you see, our culture, our map, our flat map, the culture, the map of reality that we are conditioned with, like a fishbowl, the gridlock of space-time. We don't even question that. We just assume the world exists outside of us like we see it. You know, oh, there's a tree, you know, here's a picture of my old guru, you know, all this, you know, it's all out there. It exists outside of me. But that's the space-time viewpoint of the world, of the modern world, you see. It misses. It has no place on the map for you as the center of the world. So we've lost our center because it's not on the map. So what do? We find it, we look for our center outside of us. We look for our center in religion and philosophy and yoga and politics, in our attachments, in our addictions. Even an addiction becomes a center. You know, in other words, we're finding all these external islands upon which to fix our ship. So the ship is at sea, and I don't know where I'm going. I'm just going. It's just, oh, there's an island. Oh, now I know where I am. So that island then fixes me. If you're lost, you know, this is a common experience. You go into a city or something, and you lose the map. Your GPS dies, and you have no idea where you are. It's like amnesia, you know. But then if you see, and I don't know which way to go, and there's nobody to ask, you see. But you see one thing that's, oh, there's that building. I recognize that building. As soon as you see that one thing, you're, I know where I am. I'm okay. I'm fixed. The world comes back into place. The same thing if you're lost in the desert or the forest, you know, and wait a minute, I'm going in circles. This compass is not working. Oh my God, there's panic because I don't know where I am. And that's because I don't have a center. When you have your center, you're okay wherever you are. You're not lost. But if you don't have your center, if you've misplaced it, you can't find it, you see, then you depend upon external things to orientate you and fix you in the world and prevent psychosis or a panic attack, you see, a whiteout. You know, so we keep fixing ourselves on externals. Oh, I know that person, I'm okay. Go in a crowd. I don't know anybody. You see one person. Oh, and you go there. Oh, how are you? I remember seeing you in yada yada. Now you're the best friends. Because they fixed you. They prevented the anxiety of this ambiguity, the anxiety of not being fixed. And that anxiety of not being fixed comes because we have lost our center. When you have your center, you're always fixed, but you don't need any external landmarks to get fixed, you see. You're always at home, even when you don't know where you are. Anyway, thanks for dropping in. That was my Om doctor. I just gave you a Om doctor depressor, antidepressant. An Om doctor tongue depressor is an antidepressant. Say ah, say Om. Om. Thanks for dropping in.